A warm Jai Janine to all. A fish with its mouth closed will never get caught. This means that a fish that goes after the food that is attached to the hook that is not self-controlled will always get caught. Today we are going to talk a little about self-control. You taking control of your ichchaएं, your wishes and urges that will save you from the setbacks and the karmic cycle. This is called the monkey mind versus the monk mind. Now in the monkey mind, it's like a monkey jumping from one branch to the other, always in search of a bigger banana, being restless, not stopping for even a minute, always looking for the next pleasure and always being dissatisfied. Whereas the monk mind is focused, always thinking futuristically, not responding to the urges, and most importantly in control of itself. Now a Sanyamit person is Vitaragi, unaffected by any favorable or unfavorable circumstances around it. Let's take a simple example. You feel like going to an adventure park. You travel 4 hours to reach to that place. Half an hour you stay at every ride, and after that you get a ride for 2 minutes. Now the entire event, along with being with your favorable friends, was not even worthwhile, because eventually you would have to go through the entire process to enjoy at the same limit, at the same level. So similarly, moving on, someone who has no desire is happier than someone who constantly tries to quench their desire. A simple example of a Sanyami being Vitaragi: you go to a dentist, your teeth is numb, you feel nothing. Now whatever treatment the doctor does to your teeth, you do not care, because you simply do not feel a thing. Similarly, a Vitaragi does not feel anything. Whatever situation you put him into, he does not care, simply because he is in control of his emotions. He thinks clearly, responds composedly, and always makes the right decisions. Now, where do we need self-control? You should have the control to not eat at night, the control to always say no to onion or garlic, the control to keep the phone down, to not pick it up every time a notification pops up. You should have enough control to get to class on time, to not bunk, the control to show up every day, being consistent on the task that you're committed to. Curbing the temptation or the urge to picking up the mobile, leaving it, all should be controlled. All of these are temptations. These are cravings. A Sanyamit person merely responds. He does not react. When you react to such situations, you are giving your control to the other person. You're giving your control to people. You're giving your control to karma. But you must understand that you are different and karma is different. Similarly, a Sanyamit person is required both in Karmdhara and Gyandhara. Why Gyandhara? Because that is the path to liberation. In order to attain the Samyak Traya, you must follow Anuvrats, Mahavrats and Samitis. And why in Karmdhara? Because the same control is essential in Lokik. Why? Because whatever degree or profession one pursues, success requires a calm mind, a sound soul, and the ability to say no to things that drain your focus and energy. The most successful people are the ones who know how to say no and exactly know where and when to invest their time. So you must say no often. Say no to unnecessary kashai, to unwanted thoughts, and anything and everything that leads to tivra kashai. The only competition is that voice in your head. That voice in your head which asks you to leave your control, to not listen to yourself. Let them call you boring or an introvert. Let them call you mundane. In the long run, it is those who will listen to you and admire the most. So the most controlled human is the one who has the reins in his hands, not surrendered to urges, karmas and other beings. Emotional regulation is possible only in Manushya Gati. Why? Because beings are driven by two forces. One is anger, one is greed. Anger is found most in Naragati, and greed is profound in Devgati, and the remaining Tiryanjgati that is left is simply unaware and not mature enough to understand. So what is left is you and I, people like you and I who have the ability to control themselves. Change before you have to change. This is the ultimate path. Either you listen to it or you are forced to change. And our habit is of overdoing everything, which is also why it is called Ati Har Kisi Ki Buri Hoti Hai. We overlove, overshare, overcare, overdo, overestimate. Simply we do everything in excess. Which is why simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, because when you are simple, you are clear in your head, devoid of confusion, devoid of indecisiveness, and sometimes you win because you do not simply play. Which is why it is said that you sometimes have to step out of the race that you never wanted to be in, find your own path and continue to win. Who is the boss of you? Karma is not the boss of you. I am not the boss of you. Your friends are not the boss of you. You are the boss of you, which means that you have to take control in your hands. It is time that we don't listen to our feelings. We do not listen to that voice in our head. It is time that we take control ourselves and we switch from desires to duties. Lastly, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. And I believe that this speech provided some food for thought for you all. Thank you.